Qatar Airways just won the Skytrax World's Best Airline Award for the 9th consecutive year. It flies to over 160 destinations. Its fleet crossed 292 aircraft in 2025. It posted a record net profit of $2.15 billion. By every traditional measure of airline dominance, Qatar Airways is winning. And Singapore Airlines is doing something completely different. It operates just 149 passenger aircraft. It flies to 79 cities across 34 countries. It doesn't chase volume. It doesn't fight for transit passengers. And it just made the longest non-stop commercial flight in history, 19 hours and 15 minutes from Singapore to New York, not with a wide body full of 400 economy seats, but with a 161-seat aircraft that has no economy class at all. Singapore Airlines isn't trying to be Qatar Airways. It's building something the aviation industry hasn't seen before, and it might be the smartest strategic bet any airline has made in a generation. Here's what's actually happening. Qatar Airways, Emirates, and Etihad all operate the same playbook. Build a mega hub at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. Buy hundreds of wide-bodies. Connect every city on Earth through one airport. Doha to London through one terminal. Sydney to New York through the same connecting lounge. The destination didn't matter as long as every passenger passed through the hub. Qatar Airways perfected this model. Hamad International Airport handled 54.3 million passengers in 2025 alone. The airline built one of the most recognizable products in aviation history with its Q-Suite business class. It won the World's Best Airline Award every single year from 2019 to 2022, took 2023 off to Singapore Airlines, then took it straight back in 2024 and 2025. The machine kept running, the numbers kept growing. But something underneath this model is starting to crack, and three forces are driving it. First, overcapacity. Post-pandemic, every airline bought wide bodies again. Too many seats chasing too few premium passengers. Yields are falling across the industry. There are only so many business travelers willing to spend 6 hours in a Doha transit lounge when they could fly direct. Second, technology disrupted the hub logic. The Airbus A350-900 ULR, ultra-long range, can now fly over 9,700 nautical miles non-stop. That's Singapore to New York without touching the ground. You don't need a connecting hub when your aircraft simply doesn't need it. The very geography that made Doha powerful becomes irrelevant when your aircraft simply doesn't need it. Third, premium passengers shifted what they want. Post-pandemic luxury travelers, the ones paying $8,000 for a business class seat, don't want connections. They want direct, private, seamless. They want to board in London and wake up in Singapore. No transfer, no second security check, no lost luggage in Doha. One airline saw all three of these forces colliding before almost anyone else, and instead of fighting it, they built their entire strategy around it. Singapore Airlines didn't invent the non-stop premium model. They learned it from watching what happens when you don't have it. Remember the Singapore-New York route? Singapore Airlines operated it on the Airbus A340-500 starting in 2004. It was the world's longest non-stop flight at the time. Then fuel prices spiked, the aircraft burned too much fuel to be profitable, and the airline killed the route in 2013. It hurt. It looked like a retreat. But Singapore Airlines didn't forget the lesson. They waited. They watched Airbus develop the A350-900 ULR, a jet that burns roughly 25% less fuel per seat than the A340-500. They became the launch customer, and in October 2018, Singapore Airlines brought back the Singapore-Newark nonstop, reclaiming the world's longest flight title. Then came Singapore to Los Angeles nonstop, Singapore to San Francisco nonstop, Singapore to New York JFK nonstop. By 2025, Singapore Airlines was operating 10 ultra-long-haul nonstop routes that no other airline on Earth was flying. Today, Singapore Airlines is the only operator of the A350-900 ULR in the world. Not Qatar Airways, not Emirates, only Singapore Airlines. Here's why that matters. Look at what Qatar Airways is actually selling. It's selling a connection through Doha. The product is Doha. You fly into Hamad International, you transfer, you fly out. The hub is the business model. The airline's value to you as a passenger exists because Doha sits between where you are and where you're going. Now, look at what Singapore Airlines is selling. It's selling the absence of Doha, the absence of any transit point at all. No connection, no transfer, no waiting. You board once, you arrive once. And on that aircraft between those two cities, you experience something Qatar Airways cannot offer you, a 19-hour premium journey that never asks you to move. That is a fundamentally different product, and the market for it is growing fast. The Skytrax 2025 awards made this visible in hard data. Qatar Airways won World's Best Airline and World's Best Business Class. Singapore Airlines won World's Best Cabin Crew, World's Best First Class, and Best Airline in Asia. The market literally split into two categories, Best Transit Hub and Best Direct Premium Experience, and the world's top two airlines each dominated one of them. That's not a coincidence, it's a strategy playing out in real time. So what does Singapore Airlines' model actually look like at the operational level? Three things. First, fleet configuration. Singapore Airlines' A350-900 ULR carries only 161 passengers in two cabins, business class and premium economy, no economy class. That's not an accident. On a 19-hour non-stop flight, the economics only work if every seat is premium. You're not filling budget seats at $500 a ticket. You're selling business class seats at $4,000 to $8,000 a ticket. The aircraft is designed around yield per seat, not passengers per flight. And Singapore Airlines is now investing $1.1 billion to retrofit its entire A350 long-haul fleet with brand new first class and business class cabins, a product so advanced the CEO called it a quantum leap. The first retrofitted aircraft enters service in 2027. The ULR jets will add 4 enclosed first-class suites, bringing genuine luxury to the longest flights in the world. Second, route philosophy. While Qatar Airways routes passengers through Doha to reach their destination, Singapore Airlines is building a network where Changi Airport isn't a layover, it's either the origin or the destination. And because Singapore is one of Asia's wealthiest and most globally connected cities, the origin-destination traffic is real and deep. Business executives flying Singapore to London for meetings, tourists flying New York to Singapore for holidays. Neither group wants to stop in Doha. Singapore Airlines gives them a reason not to. By 2026, Singapore Airlines operates as the world's 11th largest international carrier by available seat capacity on long-haul routes, a remarkable position for an airline with no domestic market and a country of just 6 million people. They achieve it by focusing exclusively on routes where premium direct demand is strong enough to fill premium-only aircraft. Third, the competitive gap in geography. Qatar Airways is brilliant at connecting the world through Doha, but the routes Singapore Airlines operates to the United States are routes where Doha is actually a terrible transit point. Passengers flying New York to Singapore do not want to go west to Doha and then east to Singapore. The geography makes no sense. Singapore Airlines owns these routes because its competition, through geography alone, cannot reach them efficiently. But here's the detail that most people miss. The real differentiator isn't the aircraft, it's what Singapore Airlines has built around the experience. For 23 consecutive years, Singapore Airlines has won the world's Best Cabin Crew Service Award from Business Traveler Asia Pacific. 23 years. That's not a product advantage, that's a culture advantage. Qatar Airways wins on hardware. The Q Suite is genuinely exceptional. Singapore Airlines wins on human experience. The way its crew makes you feel on a 19-hour flight is something no seat design can replicate. The airline has also built a digital ecosystem called KrisLab, its internal innovation lab, that treats the flying experience like a tech product, not a legacy service. Kris World, its in-flight entertainment platform, now lets passengers pre-select their entertainment before boarding using mobile apps and QR codes. It has integrated AI-powered customer service, personalized loyalty through its Kris Plus app, and is one of the only airlines in the Asia-Pacific region to offer unlimited free Wi-Fi on all international flights. Qatar Airways operates a powerful cargo and network machine. Singapore Airlines is quietly building something closer to a premium tech platform that happens to fly planes. The commercial result is pricing power that its competitors can't match. Despite passenger yields falling 5.5% in FY 2024-25, pressure that hit every airline, Singapore Airlines still commands higher fares per seat on competitive routes than Emirates and Qatar Airways. Premium passengers pay more to fly with Singapore Airlines because the total experience, not just the seat, justifies the price. If Singapore Airlines succeeds at scale, the implications go well beyond one airline. Qantas is watching closely. Its Project Sunrise plans non-stop flights from Sydney to London and Sydney to New York using an A350-1000 ULR, expected around 2027. That is direct confirmation that the ultra-long-haul non-stop model has legs beyond Singapore Airlines. Even the Gulf carriers are reading the signals. Etihad, after its catastrophic equity partnership collapse in the 2010s, rebuilt itself as a more focused premium carrier. It posted its highest profit ever in 2024, $476 million, precisely by abandoning the mega hub ambition and focusing on quality over scale. The travel market itself is shifting toward this model. Premium leisure travel is the fastest growing segment post-pandemic. High net worth travelers are choosing direct, private, and high touch. They book business class like it's a hotel suite. They care about the journey, not just the destination. Every one of these trends points toward what Singapore Airlines already built. But there are challenges, and they're real. Singapore Airlines operates a fleet of 149 aircraft, a fraction of Qatar's 292. Limited scale means limited frequency on many routes. The Air India stake, completed in November 2024, is already bleeding losses back into Singapore Airlines' quarterly results. Net profit dropped 67.8% in the first half of FY 2025-26 because of Air India's losses flowing through equity accounting. The partnership gives Singapore Airlines access to India's massive market, but it comes with the complexity of a turnaround story it doesn't fully control. And Qatar Airways is not standing still. Its Q Suite remains one of the finest business class products in the world. It has 202 aircraft committed for delivery. It is growing into Africa, South America, and secondary Asian cities. The hub model is under pressure, but it is far from broken. Here's the key insight. Qatar Airways and Singapore Airlines are not really competing for the same passengers. Qatar Airways is competing for every passenger on Earth who needs a connection. Singapore Airlines is competing for every premium traveler on Earth who refuses one. These are different businesses wearing the same label. One is a global transit system optimized for scale. The other is a luxury direct service optimized for experience. Both are profitable, both are winning awards, both are expanding. But only one of them is doing something no other airline has matched, flying farther non-stop with a more premium cabin more consistently than anyone else in commercial aviation history. Singapore Airlines isn't building the next Qatar Airways, it's building the opposite. In a world where the A350-900 ULR makes any two cities reachable without a hub, where premium passengers have more money and less patience than ever, and where cabin crew culture can outlast any product update, Singapore Airlines' model doesn't just look viable, it looks like the future of premium aviation. Hey, before you go, if you found this breakdown useful, the next video is already waiting for you. The algorithm thinks you'll like it, so hit that button and let's keep going.